Good evening, all of you. This is Vandana. Welcome to my class of science. Today I am going to teach a lesson from physics, that is measurement and units. Okay, so let's start. And here is my slides. I hope all of you can see that. So, all of you must have heard about measurement and unit. Like from our ancestors also, they have also used many kinds of measurement units to measure the things, like to measure the grocery items, to measure the length, height, width, everything. Okay, so from a long time to the modern technology, from there to this point of time, measurement is very necessary things to our daily life. So now I'm going to start, okay, this measurement. Just a second, I'm getting some technical issues. Just give me a sec. Yes, sorry, yes. Okay, let's start. So today's lesson is our measurement in science. Okay, that is our module number 1, and the lesson is our measurement in science and technology. Today's my content is introduction, learning objectives, what is measurement, what is a unit, how did our ancestors make measurement, and as for today's Indian measurement system, the modern measurement system, SI units, rule for representing the SI units, and last is our terminal exercise. So let's start. Our introduction is see, uh, measurement. How will you define? Maybe the measurement is our counting the number of times. Okay, it is the counting the number of times is chosen scale, by a chosen scale. Because if you will say something to me, like it's a 5, it's a 5. Okay, uh, it's a 5 of house. So what will you understand? So for that you need a particular unit, and for that unit you should that should be understandable to you, and that should be understandable to me also. So measurement, maybe you can define like as a kind of counting. It refers to the counting of the number of times chosen a scale is used to make the measurement. If you're having an inchy tape, okay, inchy tape is to measure the length, but a graded cylinder is to measure the volume, where you can measure your any kind of liquid items. And a unit is a measure or a device or a scale in terms of which we can make the measurement. Okay, fine. So measurement are important part of comparing things, as they provide the basis on comparing objects to the other objects. Measurements allow us to recognize 3 hours and see how, sorry, yes, allow to recognize the 3 hours and see how it's shorter than the our 5 hours. Like if you're talking about 3 hours and I'm talking about the 5 hours, you will understand, because I'm mentioning the hours. Okay, but in which category we measure the quantity and quality of an object is known as our measurements. These measurements are different type in different objects. For like solid, it is different, for liquid it is different, and for gases also the measurement is different. For example, like if you are measuring the weight of any object, we use the dimensions of kilograms or gram, okay. But when you are using any kind of like height, so what will you say? The measurement should be in your length, like it's in meter or kilometer, etc. And when you are measuring any water or any kind of liquid things, then it will be your 1 liter of water, your 1 liter of milk, like that. Okay. See, if measure will not be there, like why our this measurement is necessary? Okay, why this measurement is necessary? Imagine if a situation is there when a man wants to buy a red colored shirt, okay, and he goes to a store, obviously. Then the shopkeeper speaks only English. He doesn't know any kind of other languages. The man says, "Urid kamansa ama," anything. Okay, "Urid kamansa," kuch bhi usne bola. Then the shopkeeper says, "What? What are you saying?" The man asked for a red color T-shirt, but he said it is in like other language. It's not English, okay. Obviously the shopkeeper could not understand anything since it was not a standard language, okay. If I am talking about, if I will explain you physics in my own mother tongue, will you understand? No, because my mother tongue is not a your common language. It's not a standard language. It's only used in a particular state. Okay. Similarly, there are many systems and units in different place for measuring different quantities like length, area, mass, volume, and other things. For example, an acre is a common way of representing area measurement in India. Okay, 1 acre is around 40-46 square meters. If you look at the metric system, so now you can guess how difficult it would be if there were no standard units and measurements. Okay, सोचो जहाँ पे कोई यूनिट्स नहीं होता एंड मेजरमेंट नहीं होता तो क्या होता? People will not express their feelings, will not can't talk in a particular way. So measurement is always associated with your unit, because measurement को ऐसे express किया जाता है that should have some sense and should have an unique meaning. So this unique meaning should be mentioned, yeah, should be expressed in a standard unit. Okay. So unit, how will you define your unit? Unit is the quantity of a constant magnitude which is used to measure the magnitudes of other quantities of same nature. The magnitude of a physical quantity is expressed as physical quantity. Like if you are comparing the valuable things of physical quantity is equal, okay, value of the physical quantity is always equal to your numerical value and its unit. Like I'm always you always say it's like 5 liter of milk, you will not say 5 of milk. What is 5? It is 5 liter of milk, because 5 is the your numerical value and liter is your unit. So numerical is multiplied by your what? Unit. Okay. Every measurement must be expressed in such a way that it makes sense and has a unique meaning. So for this, we need to know the two things. Firstly, what is the measuring standard used, say centimeter, meter, foot in the above example, and the number of times it is used. The result of measurement of a physical quantity is expressed in terms of value. And unit is always measured by any device or any scale in terms of which. Clear? When you are going to measure any kind of length, then you will take a inchy tape so that you can say the measurement in a particular inch, meter or anything. Okay. Next is our characteristics of unit. Characteristics. Okay. Unit should be understandable. जो भी आप यूनिट यूज कर रहे हो वो आपका क्या होना चाहिए? अंडरस्टैंडेबल होना चाहिए. अंडरस्टैंडेबल में क्या आता है आपका? लाइक आपका यू शुड बी अंडरस्टूड, वेल डिफाइंड होना चाहिए, रेलिवेंट होना चाहिए. ओके, unit should be relevant, then second should be convenient, and third should be it should be well defined, that it should be well understood by the other people. And next is our how did our ancestor make measurements. जब तक हम शुरू स्टार्टिंग से नहीं जानेंगे कि हाउ द मेजरमेंट केम इन लेंथ, मीटर, किलोग्राम, ग्राम, because of the ancestor they have started how to measure the things. So now we will study how our ancestor make the measurements. Okay, एंसेस्टर्स हमारे क्या करते थे, फिंगर से मेजर करते थे. ठीक है, एंसेस्टर्स क्या करते थे हमारे, फिंगर से मेजर करते थे. लाइक दे रिकॉर्डेड हिस्ट्री. जस्ट अ सेकेंड. ओके, हेलो. Yes, like the need of the measurement. Why our ancestor first started to make the measurements? Because when the humans became civilized, okay, when the humans became civilized, started cultivating and living in communities, they realized that one cannot do anything without expressing. So they paved the way for trade and then probably for need a measurable. The recorded history shows like some evidences were there that from the different parts of our human body were used as a point of reference while making measurements. Some of the length of a foot cubic, length of our arm, hand span, and the distance between the tip of the thumb and the tip of the little finger when the hand is fully stretched out. In fact, nowadays also we are using, some of your like parents maybe use this to measure. We keep measuring our in our finger and our hand. So it is already started from our ancestors. Certain historical units were there, like the things around us. Examples, Romans used a unit called pace, which was equal to a stride of their army contingent, and they called it distance traveled by some thousand paces. Okay, एंड अदर पीपल लाइक क्यूबिक. क्यूबिक एक आया था हमारा, जैसे लाइक लेंथ ऑफ द आर्म, सो दे कॉल्ड इट क्यूबिट. डिस्टेंस बिटवीन द टिप ऑफ द थंब, एज आई टोल्ड यू. So like these things our ancestors use to make the measurements. But why they need a standard unit? Okay, why we need a standard unit? Actually, back in our 3000 BC, some Egyptians came that they solved this problem. And first, they able to define the standard cubit. And this cubit is like the units based on the parts of the human body are arbitrary and inaccurate हो गया, because कोई छोटा रहेगा, कोई बड़ा रहेगा, किसके फिंगर बहुत लॉन्ग रहेगा, किसका शॉर्ट रहेगा, सो दैट वर नॉट करेक्ट. सो फॉर दिस थिंग्स इजिप्टियंस हमारे आए थे एंड क्यूबिट को एक स्टैंडर्ड यूनिट डिक्लेयर किए थे, because the unit is very understandable for everyone. Okay, so the problem of measuring length accurately was first solved by the Egyptians as far back in 3000 BC. It was done by defining the standard cubit. It was defined to be equal to the distance between the elbow and the tip of the middle finger of Pharaoh ruling Egypt at that time. Measuring sticks of the length exactly equal to that of the standard cubit were made. In this way, they made sure that the cubit was the same length all over the Egypt. And after that also similar efforts were made by other ruler also. For example, the British King Henry decreed that a yard would exactly be equal to the distance from the top of his nose to the end of the thumb on the outer stretched arm. Queen Elizabeth also declared a mile to be exactly equal to the 8 furlongs. और फॉरलंग होता क्या है? द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन द ऑक्सन एक पार्ट होता है फील्ड का, ओके वो फील्ड के मेजरमेंट को लेके जो कि हमारा 220 यार्ड्स होता है उसको एलिजाबेथ ने डिक्लेयर किया था फॉरलॉन्ग की यूनिट के हिसाब से. तो फर्स्ट हमारा स्टार्ट हुआ था इजिप्शियन से एंड इजिप्टियंस फर्स्ट जो हमारा एक स्टैंडर्ड यूनिट का नाम दिए थे डेट इज अवर क्यूबिट. सो लाइक दिस जो स्टैंडर्ड जितने भी हमारा आते गए दे यूज टू बी शॉर्ट लिव्ड, वो लॉन्ग टाइम के लिए कभी भी एग्जिस्ट नहीं कर पाए. As once a given ruler went out of the power and died, the system was not followed by the other new system. ओके जो चले गए उन्होंने उनका जो एक सिस्टम किया हुआ था उसको किसी और ने फॉलो नहीं किया. Since different countries and the different provinces in a given country were governed by different rulers, they followed the different system of units. As a number of the units for mass, length, area, and volume came to be widespread use. Okay, so like this, our एक स्टैंडर्ड यूनिट की नेसेसरी हुआ. अब इंडियन मेजरमेंट सिस्टम क्या है? इंडियन मेजरमेंट सिस्टम भी हम पहले पढ़ेंगे. एंशियंट टाइम में हमारा क्या था? ओके एंशियंट टाइम में हमारा लाइक परमाणु, राजकांस, लिकास ये सब था फ्रॉम द बाय द सॉरी इन द पीरियड ऑफ आवर चंद्रगुप्त मौर्य. ठीक है. सो इन एंशियंट पीरियड्स इन इंडिया द लेंथ ऑफ द शेडोज ऑफ ट्रीज sorry shadows of trees or the objects were used to know the approximate time of the day. Okay, so long time duration were expressed in terms of the lunar cycles, which even now is on the basis of some calendars like our Hindu calendars. Okay, excellent examples of measurement practices in different historic periods are available. For example, about 5,000 years ago in the Mohenjo-daro era, उस टाइमिंग पे the size of the bricks all over the region was same. The length, breadth of the wicks were always in the ratio of 4 is to 2 is to 1 and taken as a standard. फिर क्या हुआ? सिमिलरली चंद्रगुप्त मौर्य के टाइमिंग पीरियड में वेल डिफाइंड सिस्टम आया, एक वेट एंड मेजरमेंट का सिस्टम. द गवर्नमेंट एट दैट टाइम इंश्योर्ड दैट एवरीबडी यूज्ड the same weights and measures, and according to the system what came? Our Paramanu and Yozan. And what is Paramanu? Small lengths. Okay, the small lengths is measured in the unit of Paramanu, as we called it anguls in India, and for long distance yogan is used. Okay, and one yogan is equal to your 10 kilometers for now. The Indian medicine system, like Ayurveda, also had well defined units for measurements, because Ayurvedic in India, Ayurvedic is very famous. So the in Ayurvedic also they had well defined unit measurements of the mass and the volume. The measurement system was strongly followed to ensure the proper quantity of medicine for particular diseases. And we will study some time period like Indian measurement system in medieval period. Here is the Indian measurement system where Chandragupta Maurya time में जो था like anguls, paramanus. Okay, paramanu is the smallest, angul is the largest type में था. So next is our Indian measurement system in medieval period. Medieval period, like what happened in that period? Ini Akbari, okay. Ini Akbari by Abul Fazli or by Alami. During this period, that period was our Mughal period, okay. Mughal emperor of Akbar. The Gaj was introduced, and the Gaj was used the unit of measuring length. Each Gaj was divided into 24 equal parts, and each part was called your tasuz. Okay, and this system was extensively used to measure the land pieces for our construction, the buildings and houses, well gardens, and our roads. The gauge is widely used as a unit of length till the metric system was introduced in 1956. Even today, in many parts of our country, particularly in the rural areas, gauge is being used as a unit of length. Nowadays, also, most of you people must have heard about the gauge system. Okay, so next is our Indian system during our British period. दैट टाइम यूनिफॉर्मिटी आ गया था लाइक एक सीरीज में काम करना टाइप ऑफ ओके यूनिफॉर्मिटी इन द सिस्टम ऑफ मेजरमेंट एंड द वेट्स यूज्ड नंबर ऑफ एफर्ट्स किया गया था इन दैट पीरियड ब्रिटिश रूलर्स वांटेड टू कनेक्ट इंडियन वेट्स एंड मेजर टू दोज बीइंग यूज्ड इन द ग्रेट ब्रिटेन एट दैट टाइम जो ब्रिटिशियंस जो यूज़ करते थे वो रिलेट करते थे इंडियन वेट्स के साथ एंड ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम ओनली इंच फुट यार्ड वेयर यूज्ड to measure the length, whereas grain, ounce, pounds, etc. were used to measure the mass. Okay, so inch, foot, and yard are used to measure the length, but our grain, ounce, pounds, okay, used what the unit? Mass. By mass they are measured. These units and weights were used in India till the time of independence in 1947. The essential units of mass used in India including rati, mass, tola like छटकन सीर मूंद ये सब भी यूज होता था रत्ती till now used by our goldsmith people like when you going to buy some gold now also we used in tola okay ratti is a red seed whose mass is approximately 120 mg so it was widely used by our goldsmiths and by practitioners of traditional medicine system in India. Now see this is 8 rati, 12 masa, 5 tola. Okay, this is the relation between the unit of mass used during the British time period. Like 8 rati is our that time what they called it 1 masa. 12 masa में 1 तोला आता था 5 तोला में 1 चटकन 16 चटकन में 1 सीर 40 सीर में 1 मोंड and 1 मोंड is equal to 100 pound. Next is our the modern measurement system. Modern measurement system is about our standard unit like that deals with the whole whole world. Okay, जब आप when you talking about the modern measurement system, everybody in every country will understand. So, after the French Revolution, almost in the 1790, the French scientists took lead in establishing a new system of weights and measures. They advocated the establishment of national standards for the purpose and the use of decimal arithmetic system. Okay. This lead to the birth of metric system which like the Hindu Arabic counting system and is based on the multiplies and subdivisions of 10. First कहाँ से हुआ था multiplies and subdivisions of 10 से हमारा decimal arithmetic system start हुआ था जो कि अभी भी हम यूज करते हैं ओके decimeter centimeter meter kilometer all this after detailed deliberations of the basic unit of length and mass were defined and their working standards prepared by making two lines a meter apart on a planetarium bar. Similarly, when uh, when you are talking about a plantium, okay, iridium cylindry was a kind of standard measurement kind of your things that introduced that is equal to the mass of 1 cubic decimeter of water and when the working standard of the and it was working for the standard of mass These two standards, like what? Our cubic decimeter and our meter. These two standards have been preserved at the International Bureau of Weights and Measures at the Subs near Paris. The copies of these were prepared and sent to the different countries, and as a regard of the time, the concept of hour, minute, second, based on the rotation of the earth was also retained. अब क्या हुआ, लाइक आवर इंटरनेशनली ट्रीटी में जिसको हम कहते हैं मीटरी कन्वेंशन वाज साइंड इन 1875. They follow the metric system throughout the world for trade and commerce. In this time, the course of the developments of units, a number of systems were adopted, like two systems. Mainly the two systems were adopted extensively. Used were for the CGS and MKS system. The CGS system was based on your centimeter, gram and second as the unit of length, mass and time, while MKS, okay, you can see here the MKS system is based on your meter, kilogram and second for the same. And in 1958 it was defined like as a standard needed unit, but in 1983 it is defined as the length of the path traveled by the light in vacuum in one per some numbers. It's a long number of a path. So actually ये defining system था, system of units to lead to the birth of a SI system को birth करने के लिए. Now we will study details in our the SI system, but SI system start कैसे हुआ था? From the comparing the traveling the light in vacuum. Okay, so now we will study like our SI unit. SI unit is our international system unit. Okay, that's why it is called your SI, because it is your system international. It means it's a French word. The international system of units, that is SI, is the it's a typical our metric system that is used universally as a standard for measurements. It has a vital role in our scientific and technological research and development. It is mainly made up of 7 base units which are used for defining the 22 derived units. These are our 7 units. Okay, length, time, mass, electric current, thermodynamic temperature, amount of substance and luminous substance. The SI unit can be expressed either as a standard multiple or as a fractional quantities also. You can express it in the both ways. These quantities are defined with the help of prefix multipliers with the power of 10, that is from ranging our 10 to the power minus 24 to the power 10 to the power 24. ओके, माइनस 24 से लेकर 24 तक हम एक्सप्रेस कर सकते हैं. बट एग्जैक्टली एक्सआई यूनिट, ओके, कोई आपसे पूछेगा व्हाट इज द एसआई यूनिट, तो हाउ विल यू एक्सप्रेस इट? एसआई यूनिट is an international system of measurements that are used universally in technical and scientific research to avoid the confusion with the units, and it is having a standard unit system. So it is very important because it helps in the entire world to understand the measurements of one set of unit system. Like our SI units, the quantities can be classified into two types: our base unit, या फिर fundamental units, and our derived units. So this is the main sum of our derived units. Like if we're talking about area, it is our square meter, volume cubic meter, speed and velocity, it is meter per second, wave number reciprocal meter, density kilogram per cubic meter, work is our kg per meter, kg meter square per second square. Okay, so दिस एसआई जो बेस यूनिट होता है, जो हमारा फंडामेंटल यूनिट होता है, एसआई का जो फंडामेंटल यूनिट होता है, ओके, दिस इज द फंडामेंटल यूनिट. These are the fundamental units and are considered as the building blocks of the system. As other units are derived from the SI base units या फिर SI fundamental units, like our example, best example is our mass is in our kilogram. And then it is often used with in our grams, that is in our CGS system. सो एसआई बेस यूनिट्स का हमारा जो था क्या क्या है, लेंथ, मास, टाइम, इलेक्ट्रिक करंट, थर्मोडाइनमिक टेम्परेचर, अमाउंट ऑफ सब्सटेंस एंड ल्यूमिनस डेंसिटी ऑल. So let's talk about our derived units. Derived units are unlimited as they are formed by different operations. Actually, they came from the fundamental, so it is unlimited. And for derived units, like dimensions are expressed in terms of dimensions of the base unit. The derived units may also expressed in the combination of base and derived both. SI derived unit frequency, electric charge, electric potential, बहुत like our energy, work, ये सब जो हमारा express होता है, these all are things are expressed by our derived units. जैसे कि force, mass into acceleration. ओके, तो आपको मास का यूनिट यूज करना पड़ेगा, देन आपको एक्सेलरेशन का भी. सो इट्स ए डिराइव्ड यूनिट. एंड एसआई यूनिट लाइक आवर मोमेंटम इज किलोग्राम मीटर पर सेकेंड, मैग्नेटिक फील्ड इज टेस्ला, जैसे कि हीट का यूनिट जूल है, एंड वेलोसिटी का मीटर पर सेकेंड. सो ऑल दिस आवर डिराइव्ड यूनिट. सी पावर का जैसे है केजी मीटर स्क्वायर पर सेकेंड क्यूब, pressure of stress, force. Next is our like before prefix, I want to see something advantages of this SI and CGS unit. Question related to this SI unit and CGS units are like very common. Their explanation will help the people to talk about in a standard unit. People will understand very clearly. Okay, so now next is our prefix. इनमें से like this from this topic I want to tell you that the main important are these things, like our CGS system. Okay, where is our CGS system? Yes, CGS system, MKS system and SI system. These things are very important. Now we will study about our prefix. Sorry, where is our prefix? Yes, prefix. Prefix are generally the multiplications. Okay, the multiplication or multiplies and sub multiplies of SI units. uh, they avoid, okay, they should be avoid to very large or very small numerical values. The prefix attaches directly to the same of a unit, and a prefix symbol attaches directly to the symbol of a unit, like our unit of mass. What will you say? Kilogram means you will write it in kg. Unit of thermodynamic temperature, it is Kelvin, but it is denoted by only capital letter K. Unit of time, that is second. Ampere, unit of your electric charge. So this is the main prefix. Examples, some examples of prefix here: peta, tera, giga, mega, kilo, hecta, deca, pico. Okay, and this is the symbol while we use it in our daily life. Next is our how to use the prefixes. Where will we use these prefixes? These prefixes are used only with the units, not alone. Like if we will tell only K, what will you understand? It should be 5K, means 5 Kelvin, 10 kg. Okay, it always used in with the numerical. You can use only one prefix at a time, like 10 to 12 gram. You cannot say 10 to 12 gram, kilogram. Okay, you have to mention only one, either your CGS or in your SI unit. And SI prefix is not used with the unit. What is this? Celsius. The power to which a prefix unit is raised applies to the whole unit, including the prefix. Example, 1 kilometer per square, that is your 1000 meter square. So rules, there are some rules for representing the SI units. The units named after scientists. Okay, kilogram, gram, all these things, Kelvin, Newton, all these things are named after the scientist named. या फिर after the scientist written and the any capital initial letter. So, for example, like when we are talking about Newton, the Newton unit is discovered by the scientist Newton, Henry, what, all these things. Okay, the symbol of the units named after scientists should be written always in capital letter. For example, N for Newton, H for Henry, and your W for what? Small letters should be used as symbols of units for not derived from a proper name. जैसे कि आप मीटर मतलब स्मॉल m, kilogram small kg. No full stop or other punctuation marks should be used within the end of the symbol. The symbol of units do not take plural like form. For example, 10 kg not as 10 kgs. For when temperature is expressed in Kelvin, the degree sign is omitted. Okay, fine. So next come to our terminal exercise. See, सिंबल्स जैसे कि मैंने यहाँ पे दिया है आपका जूल लाइक योर एनर्जी व्हेन यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट योर 30.5 जे इज करेक्ट 30.5 जूल्स और 30.5 जे इज नॉट योर करेक्ट बिकॉज जे शुड बी इन योर what capital letter. Okay, so let's come to our terminal exercise. Define the term measurement by giving two examples. Who will define measurement? Okay, measurement may be defined as a kind of counting. You can write it, okay? Measurement may be defined as a kind of counting. It refers to counting the number of times a chosen scale is used to make measurement. जैसे कि example पूछा है तो you can write an inchy tape to measure the length or a graded cylinder to measure your volume. Next question is what? What is your unit? A unit is a measure, device, or a scale in terms of which we make the physical measurement. List the essential characteristics of unit. Three things are very important: R, C, W, relevant, convenient, and well defined. Okay. Next is our list the parts of human body which can be used for measurement. Sorry. I missed the question number 4. Name the smallest unit of length during the Chandragupta Maurya period. Yes, it was Parmanu. List the parts of human body, which can be used for the measurements like there were arm, angul, and cubit. And our seventh question is differentiate between the base unit and derived units, means the fundamental units and the derived units. Fundamental units are only 7 in number, whereas our derived units are very large in number because it is derived from our fundamental units. And fundamental units are independent of each other, but derived units are obtained from the fundamental units. So this is the main two difference between the fundamental and the derived units. And what is the difference between the mass and amount of a substance? Yes, anyone? Yes, mass is your amount of the matter contained in a body, and while the amount of the substance is equal to its molecular mass. Okay, mass of a body is the amount of matter contained in a body while the amount of the substance is equal to the molecular mass. This is the main difference. Next is your very easy question, like derive the unit of pressure. How will you derive? Because it is your force by area. So force का unit क्या है? kg per mass. Yes, and area का per area. Yes, your centimeter square or meter square. Okay, so it is your kg per, yes, kg per meter per centimeter square. Yes, sorry, meter square, because it's I'm talking about in your SI unit. Okay, so all of you, thank you so much for attending my class. Okay, thank you.